I'm Clarke Hylton, and I'm the Multimedia Content Manager at Capital Community Media. There's two different things we do. We have a public-facing side, and we have more of the in-house produced content. I oversee 3 producers: the community news content that we're doing, the live streaming that we do for government meetings or school board meetings, various events, live events, or just events that we're recording and running back on the channels later. So anything that we produce here in-house is what I oversee. The most watched content happens to be our government meetings, especially when it comes to City Council and the Salem-Keizer School Board. We also get a fair amount of views as well with the Marion County Commissioners and Chariots, the Transit Board, but a lot of views for City Council and Salem-Keizer Public Schools. That's our live stream that we're contracted to do. We also do a number of music productions. We start getting into that really in the winter, and that goes through about mid-spring. We do high school graduations. That takes up an enormous part of June. Also, we do Make Music Day, we do World Beat, all of that is in June. And we oversee a community news department that is growing in the amount of content it's creating, and that's hitting so many different events that we've got going on. You have things like Salem Speaks Up, or recently we covered the brand new Vietnam War Memorial down on the Capitol grounds. We've been there for when Hope Plaza opened its doors. We were there for the Avelo Airlines first flight. We did the Willamette River cleanup, which was a year ago, but it was pretty exciting. We had the U.S. Navy here, and we were down cleaning shopping carts out of the Minto Bridge area, which is crazy. But the news is pretty much whatever we see out there that seems like it would be of interest to the public, without it being, crime stories or chasing ambulances or things like that. It's a lot of just community interest stories. For instance, like the big Out of the Darkness walk for suicide prevention that was back in October. We did that as well. There's usually several stories a month that we get to, so there's a wide assortment of these things. It's just what would fit with what you would think of as community news. We're in a little bit of a news desert here, or a media desert, really. There are no TV stations in Salem. We are still considered part of the Portland market, but Portland doesn't really care about what happens down here unless it's a crime story, unless it's a state government story. We're about the same distance away from Eugene as we are from Portland, but Eugene even pays less attention to us. So we're kind of the game in town. There's not a lot of media that is Salem's own, and we've been here for a long amount of time, 35 years, a little more than that now. We offer TV and video services. We also are doing community news. We're doing events that you would not otherwise hear a whole lot about, certainly not in video form. It's important to have producers who can do this because we're trying to cover not only Greater Salem, but also Marion County in the general Salem-Keizer area. You can't do that with, one person. You need a lot of people, and frankly, we only have 3, and I think we do a really good job with just having those 3 people. We are everywhere, and that's why it's important, because Salem needs to have a voice when otherwise it probably wouldn't because of that media desert. So we're an oasis. I have really enjoyed being a cheerleader for my team, watching them grow. So many of the folks who've come in have had some skill sets, but what they have managed to learn in such a short amount of time, there is an enormous amount of tech that we use here that I don't even fully understand everything, and it's a lot of things to master in doing something that is somewhat basic, and you're trying to tell stories. And all of this tech is just another tool to be able to tell those stories and add aesthetics or whatever in editing and everything else. And I've just been amazed at how quickly everybody has really put some stuff together. And we're doing some multidiscipline stuff. Like, we've got some complicated live streams. Those are not just simple things you pull off. And there are always some issues because the tech is complicated. That is an entirely different thing than is telling actual stories and editing and setting up cameras and doing things that are more than just, all right, I got the cameras pointed in the right way, now I've just got to handle all the 20 different things that have to happen during these government meetings. They're both really important, but they're very different disciplines. And the fact that I've got people here now who are able to do both and are doing it well and getting better at it all the time is just awesome. I love some of the stories that we've been able to tell. I felt like my last media job was not really fulfilling, and I came out of commercial radio, so a chance to tell some of these stories and do some of the work that otherwise would be ignored. I'm proud of the work we've done. I am really proud of the work that, again, our producers have done. We've got some great stories. Not all of them have won awards, but to me, so many of them have been award worthy. They've been entered in awards programs. We'll keep doing that, and I hope someday that we're rewarded with that, but I hope we're here another 35 years. I hope that we continue to be this robust, vibrant media center. We've had to change a little of how we do things, but we've also gone into some areas that we haven't been heavily invested in before, and a lot of that's community news. We're able to tell a lot more stories in a shorter amount of time that I think can be a little more compelling for people to watch. You know, there's always going to be a bit of an issue with funding because cord cutting cuts into funding that goes from the cable companies to the Cable Regulatory Commission to the government agencies that basically give us our funding. We are having to learn how to be more self-sustaining as those funds go down and filling that gap with other kinds of projects and other kinds of grants and other kinds of things. But my hope is that we continue to still be able to do these things that we've done. We'll be in some new areas as well, but we're still of service to the community, and so my hope is that we're around for a very long time.